I watched a boy fall from the roof of the same market stall for the third day in a row. This time he landed with his head first, his neck bent the wrong way. I screamed, but he stood up, smiling like nothing happened, like I didn't just watch him die. My name is Chioma. I'm 23. I sell slippers and small bags at Quat Market, nothing fancy, just the usual hustle. Wake, carry load, set up stall, shout till my throat dries, go home with enough for food and transport. It's not a fancy job. It's not even a job I dreamed about. But it pays just enough to feed me, cover my transport, and keep my phone data running. That's the hustle. You survive, not shine. I've been in that market since I was 17. Since my auntie gave me 5,000 naira and said, better use your head before hunger uses it for you. I know that market like I know my mother's face. I could tell you who hides torn naira notes, who fakes smiles, and who makes the best jollof by 2 p.m. sharp. It was a hard life, but it was normal, until it wasn't. It was a Tuesday. Mkwo Market booms on Tuesdays and Fridays. That's when the real crowd comes. I woke up earlier than usual, feeling a little off but blaming it on the beans I had the night before. I got to the market before 7. The sun was still yawning. Some sellers hadn't even arrived yet. I liked being early. It gave me time to wipe down my table, arrange my bags by color, and watch the market come alive. That morning felt too still. Not quiet, just still. You know that kind of silence that hums? The kind that sits in your chest instead of your ears? But I brushed it off, just one of those days, until I saw the boy. There's this boy, maybe 10 or 11 years old, who always climbs the roof of the stall opposite mine to chase lizards. Everyone knows him. Half the time, he's barefoot and laughing, with dust all over his face. Market people shout at him to come down, but he never listens. We've all gotten used to him. That day, he climbed again. I looked up. He slipped. He fell. His head hit the ground first. His neck bent in a way that made me drop the nylon I was tying. I screamed, loud, but he stood up. Like nothing happened. Dusted his knees, smiled, walked away, just like that. Ugochi, who sells hair cream beside me, came running. Chioma, what happened? I pointed. The boy, he fell. From the roof. She blinked at me. What boy? I thought she was joking, but her face was blank, like nothing happened, like there was no boy, like I was the only one who saw. That night, I didn't sleep well. I kept thinking about the fall, the way his body crumpled, the crack, and how nothing about his smile made sense. I told myself, maybe I imagined it. Maybe the sun had fried my brain a little. Maybe I needed more water. The next morning, I woke up and everything felt normal again. Until I checked my phone. A WhatsApp voice note from my mum, the exact one she sent the day before. Same timestamp, same message, same background noise of the chicken in our compound. Odd. I checked the date. Tuesday. Again. I paused. Wasn't yesterday Tuesday? I opened my notes app to check the list I made yesterday. Same title. Tuesday list, market things to buy. I scrolled. Everything from yesterday was still there. And yet, here we were. Tuesday. Again. At the market, things got weirder. The woman who always priced my pink bag and never bought it came back. Same exact words. Same I'll come back tone. Ugochi wore the same green boo-boo with yellow flowers. Even the jollof rice woman had the same 100 naira note pinned to her chest. Then, right on cue, the boy climbed the roof again. Slipped. Fell. Head first. Neck bent. I didn't scream this time. I just stood there, frozen, waiting. He stood up. Again. Dusted his knees, smiled, walked away. Again. I stopped talking about it. At first I wanted to ask questions. Didn't this happen yesterday? Or why are we repeating Tuesday? But every time I tried, the words jammed in my throat, like something wanted me silent, watching me, daring me. So I started testing my reality in secret. I wore a new wrapper to the market. Still Tuesday. I changed the layout of my table. Still Tuesday. I picked a fight with a rude customer, someone I'd usually ignore, just to see if the argument would carry over. Next morning, he came again. Same rude comment. Same shirt. Same words. Like the market was playing a recording. Over and over. I began to watch people more closely. Not the way I used to, calculating whether they'd buy or not, but really watching them. The bread woman blinked 3 times every few seconds. The same 3 blinks. Same pattern. Meat seller kept sharpening his knife, even when there was no meat to cut. And ugochi? She laughed at the same joke at the same time every day, even if no one said anything. I tested it. I didn't speak. I kept quiet. But at exactly 10:13 a.m., she threw her head back and laughed. At nothing. Her eyes didn't even move. One man kept rearranging tomatoes in the same bowl. I passed by him 10 times. He never looked up. His hand repeated the same motion. He didn't blink. I stood behind him and whispered, "What day is it?" No response. I touched his shoulder. He jerked violently, like someone waking from sleep, then stared at me. "Market day," he mumbled. "Come by." That was all. Then he went back to his tomatoes. I started writing things down, not in my phone, on paper, just in case the loop affected digital memory. Day 1, boy falls, stands, ugochi repeats laugh. Tuesday again, jolliffe woman smiles too wide. Day 2, same as day 1, added tomato man repeats movement. Bread woman's blink pattern. Day 3, market starts to smell metallic. Same boy falls, old beggar appears for the first time, looks at me too long. Yes, the beggar. That was when things began to shift. She was new, or maybe she was always there, but I never noticed her until then. She sat near the gutter, by the corner where the plantain seller's shade covered half the ground. No one else seemed to see her. People passed her, stepped through her shadow. She wore a wrapper the color of dried blood. Her head was wrapped in black cloth, skin like burnt wood, lips cracked, eyes gray, not white, gray, like storm clouds. She didn't beg. She just stared, at me, only me. "You're lasting longer than the others," she said. Her voice didn't match her body. It was young. Familiar. I blinked. "What?" I asked, standing slowly. "The others screamed by the 4th day. You're still watching, still thinking you can escape." I stepped back. My heart thumped hard. "Who are you?" I whispered. She smiled. Her teeth were tiny black, too many of them. She said simply, "I watched you come here at 17. You begged the landlord for a spot. You sold pink sandals. You laughed too loud. You ate burnt rice. You cried behind your stall when customers insulted you. You don't remember, do you?" "Sorry?" I said, unsure if she was speaking to me. She didn't look at me, just nodded slowly to herself, her voice scratchy like gravel. "You bought something long ago. A comb, or maybe a mirror. It doesn't matter which. You picked one. You chose." I blinked. Something about her words made my stomach clench. That memory, faint and foggy, resurfaced like a bubble breaking the surface of still water. A tray of old, dusty items. I had laughed when I saw them, thinking they were fake antiques. The woman selling them had no teeth. I bought one to make her go away. A comb, I think, but I never used it. I tossed it into a drawer and forgot. "You thought it was just a souvenir," the old beggar said, slowly lifting her head to look at me. Her eyes were clouded over but sharp, like she saw something I couldn't. "Things you buy in this market, they don't just go away. They wait. They follow." My throat went dry. "Who are you?" I asked. The beggar didn't answer. Instead, she said, "The market let you leave once, but you brought a piece of it with you. That's why you're back." My chest tightened. "Back?" She gave the faintest nod. "You've been walking the same day over and over, but now it's wearing thin." I stepped back. That's when the boy fell again. From the roof of the same okrika stall, same blue shirt, same loud crack when his body hit the concrete. This time, I didn't scream. I just stared. He stood up again, grinning like nothing had happened, like I hadn't watched him die again and again. But when I turned back, the old beggar was gone. I stopped fighting. At some point, it became easier to just blend in. I arranged my goods the same way. Smiled at the same customers, laughed at the same jokes. I didn't question the boy falling from the roof anymore. I just watched like everyone else. Quiet. Empty. I couldn't tell how many Tuesdays had passed. My phone stayed frozen on the same date. My data never finished. My battery never died. My period never came. I started to wonder if I was still alive. Then, one market day, something changed. A girl showed up at the stall beside mine. New face. Bright eyes. Maybe 18. I hadn't seen someone new in ages. She looked confused, kept asking people what day it was. I watched her talk to Ugochi, who just smiled her same tired smile and adjusted the fake hair on her tray. The girl turned to me. "Auntie, please, is this Tuesday or Friday?" My lips moved before I could stop them. "It's Tuesday." She frowned. "But it was Tuesday yesterday." I blinked at her, felt something shift in the air. Then I saw it. In her hand. A small mirror. Old, the kind that folds open, the type old mamas use after applying powder. Fuster, it had the same wood-carved look as the comb. Ancient, humble, familiar. She waved it. "I got this from one old woman at the entrance." My blood turned cold. There she was again, the old woman. I looked around, desperate to find her, to confront her, but she was gone. Of course she was. She always vanished. The girl looked at me, expecting something. A warning, maybe. A smile. I said nothing. I just stared. Because in that moment, I understood. It had never been about me escaping. The market doesn't release people. It replaces them. The girl was the next piece, the next victim, just like I had been. And maybe if the market took her in, it would finally let me go. Maybe. That night I slept for the first time in what felt like years. Not just lay down. I slept. Dreamless. When I woke up, everything felt light. I grabbed my phone. The date had changed. My body shook. I cried, laughed, ran to my mirror, my real one, not the market's twisted reflection. I was back. I opened my door, stepped outside, no sounds of market, just wind, leaves, normal street noise. The spell was broken. Or so I thought. Because just as I was about to step into the street, my foot kicked something by the door. I looked down, a wrapper, torn, red at the edges. I bent down slowly, heart in my throat. The wrapper was wet, smelled like palm oil and blood. Then I heard it, faintly, like it was being whispered into my ears from 1,000 miles away. "Buy bag! Buy bag, oh! Original slippers! Buy am!" The sound was coming from inside my house. I turned to the wall. A crack had formed. Inside the crack, I saw her. Me. Smiling, selling, laughing. She wasn't blinking. She was behind the meat seller's table, chopping endlessly, even though there was no meat. Just blood. Blood that pooled and didn't dry. She looked up at me and winked. That's when I knew I had never left. The market had only moved closer. It lives in me now. And one day I'll hand someone something, maybe a comb, maybe a mirror, maybe even this story. And when they take it, they'll join the market too. I don't know if this will post. I don't know if you'll believe me. But if you ever go to Mem Kawawong Market in Aka and an old woman offers you something strange, something you didn't ask for, don't take it. No matter how cheap it is. No matter how normal it looks. Because some things aren't being sold, they're being passed on. And if you see a boy fall from the roof and stand up like nothing happened, run.